Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. This is Misfit.
And I'm Cal.
And we are here with our Week 9 preview of the Overwatch League. So we have a bunch of matches we want to talk about, and there's some other news and stuff like that going on. First, thanks to all you guys for watching on YouTube and listening on your podcatcher of choice, whether it's Spotify, SoundCloud, or iTunes. We appreciate everything you guys have done. And if you're new to the show, please, if you're on YouTube, hit a like and a subscribe and hit the alert bell. I'll tell you all the stuff that we got going on. So let's dive into the news first. So you want to hit that first, Cal?
Yeah, so we got some big news this week, a couple days ago. So basically, from here on out, the rest of the regular season is all going to be played online. All homestands for this year have been canceled, just mostly as a precautionary measure. And I get why they did it.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just more. It's in the interest of everybody's safety. It's in the interest of just actually being able to play the games once everybody's in a location where they can consistently play and be together and play, but not be like too big of groups in the places they're playing. I think as things progress, they will get better. But at the same time, they're just trying to protect everybody, but still put a product up there because
at least we have we have something going on
exactly
right now, and it's a much needed relief from everything that's going on around us. I'm down with what they're doing, because like there are sports leagues like the NFL and stuff like that that are weighing out what they're going to do, and they don't start until September.
Yeah, there's talk of the NFL postponing the season. Right now there's talk of the NBA getting all of their players together and playing everything in one location. So, there's any number of things that could be going down. So, it's smart for the Overwatch League to get ahead of it, or at least, they can't really get ahead of it now, but at least trying to get on it and have a plan. Exactly.
Because, to be honest, if you really think about it, the season is going to drag on a little bit because we had so many cancellations. You might be talking the finals somewhere before BlizzCon.
Yeah,
with the way things are going anyway.
Yeah, with how things have gone, we're probably looking at a pretty, definitely a delayed playoffs and finals. I'm assuming that their hope is that by the time the playoffs and the finals roll around, at the very least, they can get those teams into a place where they can land.
Yeah.
I'm sure they hope that they will be able to have crowds. I could absolutely see maybe in places that have gotten it more under control, like say a South Korea, maybe even China, where they can hold these playoffs and finals. I would be fascinated to see if that ends up being the case. But at the very least, I think they want to be able to get everybody together for LAN. Crowds, I think, are going to be kind of weighed out, but I think that if they can do anything to avoid playing these playoffs and finals online, I think they're going to do it.
I totally agree. It kind of sucks in a way, but it is fascinating to see what's going to happen if they're going to do a LAN, which I'm kind of leaning towards by the time the playoffs come around, because we've had so many cancellations and everything's been pushed back by kind of like 2 to 3 months already, with more to come. The schedule is kind of fluid right now. We're in the middle of it here in America. It's calming down over in Asia to an extent, but that might be the viable option at this point if you wanted to have a crowd and just to bring the energy and all that stuff and kind of bring it back. Who knows if there's even going to be like a BlizzCon come November, the way they're talking about things. Big crowds are going to be on hold for a long time. Let's be honest.
It's true. That is 100% the case. We might be seeing a lot of sporting events without crowds if they're played at all. and that includes esports. And that's going to be around the world. It's not just any one country or anything. That's going to be everywhere until a reliable vaccine is put out there.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, there's nothing, and it's just ravaging the planet. Not to be like the bummer kind of going on the bummer stuff, but it's
the reality of the world we're in right now.
It's the reality of the world. It's until this gets under control, it's the only safe measure because it's going to come back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
It's like other things, except for this is more deadly, and I don't think they want to go with the false sense of security of okay, it's calmed down, and then have a big crowd, and then all of a sudden.
Exactly.
Something, stupid happens. You don't want that either. I think that's what half the, the problem is, like when you're looking 2, 4, 6 months down the line from this, it's a larger problem than just right now.
Yes.
Right now, it's catastrophic, but down the line, it still is
it's still an issue. Yeah. And it is not just a short-term issue, it's a long-term issue. And it's kind of planning around that and adjusting to that. And hopefully with the flexibility of esports, they will be able to compensate for that.
Yeah. And, and esports across the board, they're the only thing that's on right now, too.
Right.
It's the only thing that we got, like, as far as any kind of competition. If you're a regular sports fan or, into anything, esports the regular
esports are watching old games that have already happened. And people are going to get bored of that pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like the regular leagues are like turning to video games.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean,
NBA's got a thing coming up this weekend, don't they?
Yep. Yeah, NBA has a bunch of players, like a players-only tournament of the players playing each other in 2K.
We've seen NASCAR's been doing.
Yeah, the iRacing is blowing up on Fox Sports. It's shattering viewing records. For esports.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about like not on the air with racing. Racing can be more realistic because it's a mathematical equation,
right? It's physics. It's
all the things that a computer's built to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were saying, you can't do the LeBron James "fuck you, I'm not losing."
Yeah.
In NASCAR, you can kind of or Formula One or racing. It's all physics-based. I am putting my car in this position on the track. I have this set up, the aerodynamics, all the math equations work out through the computer program. You can't do human will.
Yeah, exactly. That's damn near impossible to replicate at this point.
Except for unless you're Prophet.
Yeah. Prophet's a robot.
Yes. Prophet
He's a robot created by Blizzard.
Yeah.
But they won't admit it.
And he likes pineapple pizza, so maybe Jeff cloned made a bunch of clones.
He may have.
But anyway.
So, and I just would throw. There's one thing I wanted to touch on real quick. If you guys haven't seen the video that the Overwatch League posted on their YouTube channel, which is the North American production, or in their terms, Nori's awesome production.
Yeah.
It shows all the cats of all the casters and all the different things that they did and how they were the ones that were affecting the games. And it's amazing, and we need more content like that.
Yeah, well, there was a point like on Watchpoint where Custa was like trying to like break down something, and his fucking cat's tail was like in his mouth.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things they showed. Like all of the pauses, they were just showing one of the other cats like pushing a button, and it was pausing, and it was getting Bren all mad. It's so good. So check that video out. Highly recommend it. And Overwatch League, please keep producing more stuff like that. Like that is the quality content we need right now.
Yes, it for sure. I mean, it adds some levity to everything. It's just like, okay, normally we're in a controlled environment where everybody's like telling us what to do. But
now we have cats.
Yeah.
Now everybody's home and there's cats.
God forbid if someone had dogs like mine.
I mean, hell, even like it's so weird. I walked into work today, and on the TV, it's the morning news, and the anchors are just sitting in their houses.
Yeah, that's just weird shit.
So bizarre. And listening to the radio, you can hear you get the different sound levels that each guy, because the guys that have been doing it for years, they've got their own studio. It sounds like they're
exactly
different. But any of the producers, anytime they talk, it's completely drastically different quality, and
they're
it's
using the
really
mic,
hilarious.
The mic and the webcam on their fucking laptop.
Exactly.
Yeah, memo to news channels and everything. You still can buy webcams and things like that.
There's also a thing called a green screen, which I'm sure your studio or you guys have enough money. You can give your anchors, at least your anchors, some freaking green screens so they can have something behind them besides their children or their kitchens or their living.
I think they're trying to bring some humanity into it. I
guess so. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like in some situations, you kind of need that person sitting behind the desk. I'd like it for the late night talk shows. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. But yeah, morning news. Come on, guys.
Someone's trying to tell you what's going on in the world, and there's a 5-year-old just running around like a nutbag.
Exactly. All right, so let's jump into this weekend.
Yeah. Okay. We got Chinese games.
Yep. I'm gonna be real. This slate of games this weekend,
not the greatest.
It's weak.
Yeah, but we have some competition.
Yes,
and the good thing
we have games. I will take it. I will honestly. I will watch Boston versus Dallas.
Hey, we got some Clown Fiesta action potential going on here this whole weekend.
We got a couple of Clown Fiesta potential. I mean, I will literally take anything we can get at this point.
Yeah. Hey, and we got Chengdu playing twice again. So
we do.
Just to throw this out there before we dive in, what we think with the hero pools and all that stuff. Thank you, Nori. I'm not a cat person. I'm a dog person, but I will back cats this week. I'm on your side.
Fair enough.
But we have 4 Chinese matches again. It wouldn't be anything but appropriate for Chinese Overwatch for them to go the opposite way in every fucking match.
Oh yeah, 100%.
With I was just thinking about that. I'm like, the insanity that's these 4 teams.
I think over the next 2 weeks, so including last week, this week, and next week, I believe they all play each other twice at least.
Well, we were all begging for some the Chinese teams, and
we are getting it.
Yes. At this point, watching Chengdu mindfuck people, it's just worth the watch.
It really is.
And and I'm calling it mindfucking. Well, they're getting mindfucked this week. Could be a rough week. We'll dive in the hero pool in 2 seconds, but they don't really mindfuck people in that way that what I'm trying to convey is, they do what they do and everybody doesn't know what they're going to do, kind of. I don't understand it, but they try to match them and then they fail.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can run ball. No. We can run Pharah. No. Not against them.
No.
But, okay, so let's dive into the hero pool. The savior that is Nori brought us the banning of Mei and McCree. And we also have Brig and Wrecking Ball. What do you think that we're going to get?
Oh, man.
Dive?
I would think so, but also...
That Ryan Zarya stuff, though, it works.
The Ryan Zarya stuff works pretty well. I do think we see some of that. I think we see some Hanzo.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some Hanzo. Good old Legs might be back.
Yeah, we could definitely see some Soldier. I think it just depends. I definitely think there's potential for Pharah showing up in there, especially without McCree.
Yeah, I think so too.
And just not really... I think there's definitely some situations and maps where Widow can be really strong, but I also think that there's some times and maps where a Widow would be a bad counter to a Pharah for these guys. So I think there can definitely be some Pharah play. And I think with the Chinese games, especially with their affinity for Pharah, I think Shanghai plays a lot of Pharah, and I think Chengdu also plays a lot.
Yeah.
And some Genji for both of those teams as well.
Yeah, they're going to try and shoehorn stuff in there that they're comfortable with.
Especially with for Chengdu not being able to have ball, I think that's going to make a big difference for them.
You might see some divey, like Winston Diva kind of stuff. You might see some just off the wall shit from them too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised if weird comps where they're running, Rhine Diva with, Farah Mercy, and it's basically like high end ladder,
kind of
some of the hero picks,
yeah,
which is fine with me.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Some teams are gonna benefit from it outside of the Chinese region without, the May McCree.
Mm-hmm.
Like we saw Toronto, they did really well with the dive, but they're going against Washington, who's got Corey. Stratus has a pretty decent Farah. I mean, you could see something from them too. Like weird. It's going to be an interesting week, even though the matches on paper look like absolute hot garbage, which it very well could end up being.
Right.
But we are getting to see Dallas. We haven't seen them in a bit. The return of the Outlaws, of course. Can't forget that, because I'm sure that's what the internet's going to be talking about the whole weekend. Anyway, made my statement for the day. Where's the Benny Hill music?
Yeah, no kidding.
We're trying to find highlighted matches.
This weekend, finally.
What's that?
We get to see the Houston Browns make their triumphant return.
Yes. Spurgeon wins at quarterback this week. Actually, they should be fine because they'll probably run dive.
Yeah, actually, of course, this is it seems like they are they are lucking into these hero pools so hard.
Well, yeah, they were out for 4 weeks. I think they're going, oh shit, I hope they play this week. Oh, they played this week. That means we get another hero pool.
Right.
Because it was going 3 weeks there, and they were off. They had that 4 weeks off, but with the last scheduling system, and then now they're back online, and well, they don't have to worry about Winston being banned, so they'll be okay.
Yeah,
that could be one of the more intriguing matches of the weekend, and I'm not saying that in any kind of joking manner either. I kind of want to see where they're at.
Same.
Them versus Paris. But all right, we talked a lot about the Chinese teams. I mean, if we want to get into the progression of how the week's going to go, I'm really interested to see what Chengdu is going to do. They're the one, because they're the one that's reliant on ball, and he's gone.
Yeah, that's definitely the team that I'm most excited, or not necessarily excited, but just most interested to see what they do to adjust.
Yeah.
Because I do think that it's going to be... They're either going to struggle or they're going to surprise. I don't think there's going to be any in between.
It's going to be a normal week for Chengdu.
But they could. I don't know. It's so hard to tell with this team. There could be times where they look dominant, and then other times where they just look like, are these even... Are they golds? What is happening? That is just... the mystery that is the Chengdu Hunters in general. Yeah,
at least they're fun to watch because they just do what they do. Mm-hmm. They Chengdu what they Chengdu.
Oh my god.
Yep, I went there. I mean, do we see A-Ting this week?
Do think it's a strong possibility, but I think the one thing that could prevent that is if the Ryan Zarya thing continues to be really, really strong and heavily played, I do think they keep aiming in there on Ryan because we know he has a pretty strong Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, he did enough. Like last year, he got better and better as the season went on. Most of these guys played goats, so they can do the Ryan Zarya thing. Well, I guess they ran DPS doing it. You know, can Elsa play a decent run, or maybe they run Sigma and 18 plays them. Who knows what they're gonna do? Yeah, I mean, they could pull out Hog or something.
Who knows with this team?
Yeah, but they're the most intriguing. They have the most intriguing thing with this hero pool.
I would bet that because of Ameng's ability to play ball, I can't imagine his Winston is like so bad that he's unplayable.
Yeah,
I have a hard time believing that.
Yeah, it might be one of those things where we just don't. We've never seen it.
Yeah, he's just never really had an opportunity to show it in the league so far. So I do think that is also a possibility. If we see a lot of Winston, we could definitely still see Ameng. But it's definitely an interesting question. It's a very relevant to that team because they run ball so heavily. They have not played Guangzhou.
Yeah, they're playing Guangzhou this week.
Yeah, they're playing Guangzhou and Shanghai, which we saw them 3-0 Shanghai last... Or no, wait.
Yeah, they 3-0 Shanghai.
They 3-0 Shanghai.
Shanghai's probably going, yes, we don't have to play ball. That being said, though, their main tank didn't look terrible. Stan won.
Yeah, he actually looked pretty solid.
Yeah, he didn't look terrible on ball when he played ball. It's just aiming so much better.
Right.
Than everybody else.
That specific character, like Ameng is...
Well, that's... Yeah.
That is his character. Like, he is one of the best ball players in the world.
It's like Sabiobi on Tracer.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's that kind of equation where he has such a feel for the character that he plays it so well. He plays the other ones at a decent level, you know, decent enough, but that's his main thing. I think the teams that have to play Chengdu are a little happy that they don't have a ball in the pool this week. And those teams are because we haven't seen them play, and they were so up and down, all of them, like literally all of them were just
right.
Good or absolute hot garbage.
Except for Hangzhou
was like in the middle.
I don't even know, like, if this, no matter how it plays out, I don't know if there's any team from China that can really separate themselves this week. Even with 2 wins for any of these teams, is still a little, like, you really can't take too much from that. Unless they're, like, just completely dominant wins, and I just don't see that happen.
Because I think the one team, and I have been railing them, is Shanghai that could make it out of here 2-0.
Yeah, I do think Shanghai is better than definitely better than I was giving them credit for.
And their DPS hero pools are huge.
Yeah, their DPS lineup is just gross. I underestimated how heavily that could carry them. Because I guess I'm still in GOATS mode from last year, where it's just like
understandable.
Your DPS really didn't make that much of an impact. It was all about your tank and support play, literally.
Yeah,
well, and DPS players were the least impactful players. If you didn't have strong tanks and strong supports, like mains, then you were just sunk. And I think that is less the case. But also, I do think for Shanghai, at least, their main tank situation is not as dire as I thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah, the Chengdu and I think Guangzhou will be okay. Hangzhou is whatever they are.
Yeah, I still think Hangzhou is one of those that's just like... I think they're going to be very spotty, but like not in the fun way that Chengdu is. They're going to be spotty in the very frustrating way, where like sometimes they're just going to look so smooth, like just buttery smooth. Like they are just ripping through with zero effort, but then there's other times where they're just going to be slamming their heads against the wall and they just cannot get anything done.
Yeah, like kind of that Philly season 1.
Yes.
I get that vibe from them. Some weeks you're like, wow, matches you're like, wow, they look really good. And then other matches you're like, what the fuck just happened?
But I think with less of a ceiling than that Philly team had. Less of a ceiling, but a slightly higher floor, but still pretty big variable in between those.
Yeah, exactly. Now, most of these other teams we've seen a few times that are playing. We're seeing a rematch of an upset last week, which ought to be interesting.
Yes.
Which is probably going to be one of the highlighted matches of the weekend, which is the Valiant versus the Shock.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Valiant just came out and they curb stomped them.
They really did.
I'm not mixing any words with this one. It wasn't close.
Oh, yeah. The Valiant they grabbed a hold and never let go in that game.
And I'm wondering...
San Francisco just looked lost.
I'm wondering what happened in the week that since then, they might have said, they did lose 2 games and they might have realized that they're not infallible.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought they had that attitude anyway.
Right. Like, we can beat anybody. I'm assuming that that was going to be a wake-up call for them. I do think that they're going to come out a lot stronger in this game, but I honestly I won't believe it until I see it right now, because even in their first games, when they did win, there was definitely some questionable things that were happening. Like, they were not the same team. Like, there was little things, and like they showed enough, and obviously they did enough to get the win, but it wasn't the same dominance that they were showing last year. Yeah,
and they kind of did some kind of like this weird fallback onto, well, let's put Sinatra on Zarya.
Let's put Sinatra on Zarya, because like what they did in the early part of the season with that first game was they put Sinatra on Doom, and he carried.
Yeah.
And like that basically, he basically single-handedly won that game.
And then
because his Doomfist is just so filthy. And I think some teams figured that out, and now they're kind of scrambling to figure out their ideal lineup and how to go with these changes. I'm very surprised with how much this team is struggling to make adjustments to these hero pools.
Well, the one thing that they did, the one thing that happened was Lucio was out, so you didn't have Moth playing Lucio. I think that was huge.
Yeah, I think their lack of
for me.
Depth on support really came back to bite them. You can have Rascal fill in on a few characters.
And Architect
Architect, but like we've always said, like when you can't consistently put out the same support character or the same support players, you just lose so much synergy that is so vital to winning. And I think that really hurt them a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. And the fact that Moth is so much of a carry, not a carry, I guess, on Lucio, that they were, like you said, they were scrambling all last weekend, trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
This weekend, I think they'll be a lot better because they'll have that. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see where they go.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think there's one last game we could probably talk about on Sunday, the one that we were trying to avoid.
Yeah, it really is the one with the most potential to be at least entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Houston and Paris. I do think I'm curious to see, after having so much time off, how Houston responds. But also, I do think that they don't have the advantage that they would have had the season played out as planned, because Paris basically had as much time off as they did. So they can really prepare for each other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, they did release a schedule, but I'm sure they told those guys at least like Monday-ish.
I mean, yeah, they've known for like a week or two, but I mean, everything's been so up in the air.
Yeah.
In in the time that both of these teams last played, it has just been all over the place and getting games scheduled, then canceled, and thinking you're going to play one team, then you got to play another team, and all of that. So I do think that they don't have as much of an advantage if they had played the games as regularly scheduled. I'm so fascinated to see how this plays out, because when the Outlaws look strong, they are really strong.
But when they're bad, oh boy, are they bad.
Yeah. Like, this is a team, I don't want to quite say, because I don't think their ceiling is quite as high as that Philly team, but I do think their floor is lower than that Philly team was in Season 1. But I do think their ceiling is high enough that they could really make things interesting.
I think they're one of those teams that they're either on or they're off.
Yes.
There's no... Right. They're either playing like hot garbage...
Just like the one team fight here, one team fight there completely changes that. It's very rarely is that the case for this team. It's either they're dominating or they're getting dominated for the most part.
Yeah. Which is almost similar to their Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they were on, they were fantastic. And then there's just the matches where they're just absolute hot garbage. And I have no idea what's going to happen in this. I think the one thing that I would say is Paris needs to dictate what's being played.
Yeah.
If they're more comfortable doing the Rhine Zarya thing, they need to go and force that onto the Outlaws and show them, look, you can run dive all you want, we're going to fuck you up.
Mm-hmm.
And force them into a situation where they have to play stuff that they're not comfortable on. More than any other... Because maybe Chengdu, the only other team that you could say that you have to do that to. You know, Chengdu, you can't fall into the trap of playing the same thing they did. Same thing with Houston. If you want to go mirror match and go dive against dive, I don't think you're going to win. Right. Because their tank line is that good playing dive.
Oh, definitely.
Paris seems to go out there and say, look, this is what we're playing. We're going to wreck you. And whether it's double shield, whether it's Rhine Zarya, whatever they're going to run, they have to make Houston...
They got to make Houston sweat.
Yeah. And they have to make them not be comfortable, because Houston always is too late to the party when it comes to the let's get off this. The first week against... Florida was a prime example of that, where they were trying that Brig Lucio thing. On paper, it should have worked. It could work, but Florida was just, nope, not going to happen. And by the third map, that was when they switched to Anna, and it was too late.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the big thing is Paris just is a team that has continually gotten better as the season has gone on. And they started pretty strong. And, I mean, basically they have to do everything they can to just give XZ as much space as they can and just
let
have them work and do work. And I do think that is their plan, is to just do everything they can.
Yeah, whether he's playing Soldier or whatever he's going to play this week. I think we're going to see some Soldier again, because he does work. And I'm assuming by this point we have the double rocket. I keep calling it the cooldown reduction on Soldier's rockets.
So when is Sparkle able to play?
Memorial Day.
Okay,
so
he's
31st?
Still a little ways out. He's still coming.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be a bigger factor than we expected at the beginning of the season. You know, with all these cancellations, everything being pushed back, he's going to be almost mid-season. Instead of, kind of towards the end of, like around week 15 or week 18 or 20 or something like that, when you're going into the stretch, he's going to be somewhere in the, and we're talking about matches played, because the numbers are still up on the board, for like week 5, 6, 7, that didn't happen. I mean, I'm sure they want to try and get in the same timeline, but that being said, it's not going to happen. So his arrival date is going to be a lot sooner.
Oh man, I'm so excited to see that dude join this team because with how well they've already been playing, it could really go crazy.
Yeah, this could be another one of those weeks where you see Soon and Eggsy again. You know, Tracer and whatever Eggsy's going to play, whether he's playing Soldier or something else. I mean, that worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
I normally don't mark Houston matches as intriguing or fun and all that kind of stuff, but I think this one's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I agree.
The rest of the matches are kind of hot garbage. I mean,
There's probably going to be some good Clown Fiestas, but for the most part, just...
Yeah, we have Toronto, Washington on Saturday. We have Toronto, Washington. That's potential Clown Fiesta. Gladiators are probably going to roll Dallas. And then on Sunday, we have Philly, Washington, which could be a roll. We haven't seen Philly in a long time. So, who knows? But I'm assuming, with the hero pools and all that stuff, they're going to be fine. And Dallas Valiant, I really think...
Dallas is probably going to walk away with 0 wins still.
Yeah. And yet everybody just bashes on Houston. I sound like a Houston apologist this week. What the fuck is going on?
Neither team or organization is all that great, but man, Dallas really is living up to the Dallas dumpster fires.
Yeah. But I will say Dallas's organization isn't bad. They're just loyal too long.
Yeah. They're just all over. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Well, you know what I mean here. Like, they just keep the guys just a little bit too long instead of... Now, I think they'll be eventually on the right path. I think they'll be okay. But, yeah, quietly, they're dumpster firing.
Yeah.
Because everybody's just all up in Houston. Because, we've seen them more than Dallas. So, I mean, that's also another factor. I'm still apologizing for the Outlaws. Don't know what's going on. Must be the liquid death.
I was also drinking that.
Yeah. Guys, if you're listening, watching, we're still on your stuff.
Yes. I'm just going to have to start tweeting at them. Straight up.
Yes, we love your water.
We do.
But I think that's going to do it, guys. There really wasn't a ton to talk about news-wise. There
are some interesting things going on in the experimental mode, which pretty heavy nerf to May. And it's kind of exactly one thing that I wanted them to do with May.
Just take all of her weapons away?
Well, basically, they reduced her max ammo from 200 to 120, but they also reduced the ammo cost of her right click. So it's basically making her right click the primary mode of damage for her.
Yeah, which is
just giving you more incentive to use more right clicks, and I'm totally okay with that because it's such a skill shot, and it's also reducing the amount of freezing she can do at a time. So I like that change a lot. Ash got some weird ones. I'm not really sure exactly how those will work out without actually playing her.
Yeah, of the DPS, her and Genji, I think I had the least amount of time on.
Yeah, same.
I mean,
Farrah got pretty substantial change too. Explosion damage increased from 65 to 80. Impact damage decreased from 55 to 40. So
direct rocket hits her count more again.
I think that is
the opposite.
The opposite.
So 80 splash damage total.
80 splash damage and 40 impact damage.
I don't know if I like that.
So a direct hit, yeah. That's really asking for a lot of Farrah spam.
Yeah. You're gonna have ground Farahs all over the place.
Yeah. Oh God. And then they nerfed the Reinhardt steadfast buff, or the steadfast passive.
See, no, I like that. I thought that was kind of they kind of want his play to go down a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what they're going for because Ryan he's so strong right now.
Yeah,
I mean he's being played at literally every level of the game.
But the physics of the character.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think they can find a happy medium in there. Yeah. I think 30 is too low. 50 is probably too high.
I mean, if you think about it, like when you play Junkrat, you used to be able to take your mine and just throw it and just fucking flip him in the air as high as you can flip, like Lucio. I just hope they don't continue that. Like if they go back there, I mean, well, Junk would be more viable at that point, so I'd be fine with that because I love playing Junkrat. But
fair. Somebody compared it with Lucio boops, and that's where you can really see the difference.
Oh yeah, especially on things if you have a pro level Lucio, they boop them out of charges, like all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I mean, we saw it last year. I just hope they got like you said, they got to find a happy medium. That's kind of like all the stuff we got right now. We just got the schedule a little later than normal, so I mean, I didn't have as much time to mull over the matches and kind of figure out what was going on. But
yeah, unfortunately, there really wasn't too much to mull over with these matches we've got.
Yeah, and luckily we've seen all the teams, so we kind of have a little thumbnail of what's going on. And we've seen more than one match, so, well, except for the Chinese teams, but I'm expecting Bedlam and Chaos and Mayhem and, well, not Florida, but, just the norm.
Yes, exactly.
Like, wake up in the morning and go, what the fuck? And then I gotta watch this.
Yeah, that's been pretty much the entire reaction this whole past weekend to those games.
That's gonna do it for the preview show. We are gonna do a pick show, guys, so stay tuned for that later on in the week, probably Friday. It'll be up. Barring things happening, the world is a strange place right now, so our world is stranger than most. So you'll be hearing from us with a pick show probably Saturday or Friday at the latest Saturday. I'm going to try and get it up Friday night though, at the absolute latest. Mm-hmm. I am off Friday, so I'm going to have all day. Bannerlord could come into play, but
fair.
I did make a Reinhardt character in Bannerlord, true story. And I also made a Brig too, because I mean their weapons fit. So, but it's an early access, so of course the save files got not corrupted, but they had to fix bugs, so then the save files don't load, and you're like, fuck, I did all this shit, but it's early access. I'm still having a ton of fun. If you guys need a game to check out that's not Overwatch and you're into strategy and even just not strategy, it's a little grindy, but most games are RPG strategy thing, check out Bannerlord. It's fantastic. Not to drone on about what I've been playing for literally, I said it on stream. It was dropping at 5 a.m. I woke up at 5 a.m. Purchased, downloaded, napped until 6:30, and then I played it until I went to work.
Fair enough.
Well, I've been waiting for a long time for that. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks a lot for all of your watches, listens, all that kind of stuff. We know times are tough and all that stuff right now for everybody, but you got free time. We're here to at least hopefully entertain you. If you're on YouTube, thank you very much for all the, watches, likes, all the comments and, the conversations we had going back and forth. Please hit a like and a subscribe if you're new. Hit the alert bell. It'll tell you when we're on. As usual, we're going to do our normal 3 episodes a week. We do our preview show, pick show, and then Sunday night we'll do the back cap. We thought this week was going to be a rough one. We thought we were going to have 22 matches?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they dialed it back to 10, but that's okay. We got 10 matches to watch this weekend. It's one of the few things that are going on that's in any kind of competitive sport, esport, anything like that. But we'll be here for you guys. Don't forget, Sunday night, back caps on. Friday night, we got our Friday afternoon, Friday evening, we'll have our pick show up, tell you who we're going to take in these matches. Everybody stay safe. Wash your hands, all that kind of stuff. And we will see you on the next one.
Catch you guys on the next one. Later.